All right, hello everyone, and now welcome to take two overall in this 1v1 matchup in Sup versus SaiDe. For those of you guys who are wondering what I'm talking about, take two. Well, unfortunately, my microphone settings were all discombobulated, unplugged, wires crossed, static all being built up as we jump into this game here on Tide Hunters 1.2. Tide Hunters 1.2, I personally remember it as the swimming turtle rock. If you look at the mini-map, you guys should see it. Let me know if you see it in the comments below. Anyways, let's go ahead and break things down. SaiDe opening things up with the Demon Hunter, who should be popping out right now. Gonna go ahead and clear out this creep camp on the top left. SaiDe spawning as that pink Night Elf player on the top left. Meanwhile, we're looking at iNSUP spawning as the purple undead on the bottom right here. And, well, game is already getting started. What strategies will we be looking at? iNSUP already selling that Scroll of Town portal early and going after this Sea Giant. I don't know if the Sea Giant does that anchor spin anymore. I've got a question since I'm out of the loop. Is there an unspoken agreement for pro players to play WCraft 3 games in old style graphics instead of Reforged? Is it a collective enunciation, or is it more practical, framework-wise? Curious. All right, so one of the biggest reasons I was actually asked this question by some of the developers of Warcraft 3 during the DreamHack Anaheim, which, well, it was over 3 years ago now. Wow, time certainly does fly. And they asked me how come no one was playing with those reforged graphics, and, well, this something that they didn't consider was that in the reforged graphics, in the reforged graphics, your hitboxes are actually slightly different. So in this high level of play, being having to learn new hitboxes, it is a bit of an uphill climb. Now there are um, some advantages to playing in the reforged graphics. You're actually given a little bit more information as buildings are getting constructed, buildings are getting repaired and upgraded, or not repaired, just upgraded, that you can see their progress as the buildings are getting upgraded. You can see how far along they are, not just simply, hey, it is currently going from a Great Hall to that next tier 2, or even to the stronghold or to the fortress. You can actually see the progress on the building as it is being made. So there is an advantage there. However, the color palette um, is one that is often oversaturated for players. So it's actually difficult to spot what the information that you're looking for very quickly. Boots of Speed and Staff of Teleportation bought by the Demon Hunter. So what ends up happening is that at a quick cursory glance, you cannot tell all the key information that you need to be able to spot and see, or you need to relearn it. I am in um, I am in an alpha, real-time strategy game from um, a cold yet a studio that is also kind of like a cold Yeti. Anyways, I realized that it takes time for your eyes to train and look at and process what you're seeing. And because of that, professional players, they can't be concerning themselves with what they're looking at and trying to retrain what they're seeing. They just need to be able to look at a cursory glance. Okay, yeah, that's 4 skeletal minions and 3 ghouls, right? And they can process that very quickly. For me, no, actually, I think I actually counted that wrong. There's only 2 skeletal minions and 5 ghouls. So that's an example where actually zooming in gives you more detail on the fight while giving you a larger landscape for you to get information from. So yeah, that's all there. Thanks for the elaboration, man. Appreciate it. Cheers from NL. I Nether Netherlands? I would think that Grubby would be able to answer that question very easily for you. Would be interesting to see whether Microsoft shall reforge now the merger is done. Yeah, I think I do not think that much is going to be done with Warcraft 3. The landscape for real-time strategy games is already thin and is already thin. So The future outlook, we may have seen the last real-time strategy game made by Blizzard for quite some time until they try and retell the stories, if they have interesting stories to tell. That's something that I would actually ask Chris Metzen, now that he's back on staff at Blizzard, well, yeah, at Microsoft Blizzard Activision King, what his thoughts on telling new stories again. I think I remember saying that like Jim Raynor was kind of thought of based on Metzen and that like biker style, and like some of the art was actually based on him as well. And then they redid that iconic shot for iconic shot in the StarCraft 2 art style as well. So all interesting stuff. Anyways, let's go ahead and break things down back in this game at hand. We can see the Naga Sea Witch has taken out the elementals here at the shop and now making its way back. Hero levels are about the same, level 3, level 2 versus level 3, nearly level 2, as that Naga Sea Witch looks for some easy targets. Death Knight still has that boots of speed, but I do believe it will be handed over to the Naga Sea Witch soon enough, as INSUP gets the Death Coil off in time before the Demon Hunter really can mana burn all of that true mana away. Obsidian Statue now out here on the battlefield. Naga Sea Witch, well, unable to get close enough as we see a Frost Nova land from that Lich here. Oftentimes, undead players will just, well, machine gun out those spells in the early portion of the game to make sure that the Demon Hunter can't easily or effectively mana burn. Right now, the one thing to quickly note that SaiDe is only looking at level 1 mana burn, not going at level 2 mana burn, as he also does have evasion. Demon Hunter has Immolation on as well, and that is going to be draining quite a bit of mana, as the Ancient Protector is already up and operational as well. Level 2 now finally on that Naga Sea Witch, as the Ancient Protector tries to move an inch forward, may find himself in a little bit of trouble. Alright, who has the longer range? It should be about the same. Yeah, both sides. Well, that Nerubian Tower unable to engage, and that fortified armor so difficult to get past. Obsidian Statue taking a couple of boulders to, well, boulders to the head. I guess that Obsidian Statue does technically have a head, as the Demon Hunter going to try and, well, put pressure and mana burn again. Alright, not allowing the Death Knight to get in those Death Coils, but the Death Knight does have support with Obsidian Statues while fighting on Blight and a Ring of Regeneration, so has a good amount of heals. Both sides are going to be engaging here, as we see Druids of the Claw already in bear mode, as already getting in some nice white swiping damage onto that Crypt Fiend. Both sides going to continue to fight here, as we see one ghoul getting taken down, and SaiDe is picking apart this army easily now. It does not look like a gold mine will be haunted here anytime soon, so INSUP is going to be a bit behind as the Demon Hunter runs out of mana again. Alright, with dual Obsidian Statues and the Demon Hunter out of mana, I'm expecting the Death Knight and the Lich to start hitting their stride as the momentum shifts back over. The Demon Hunter wants to try and well, pick off these ghouls, but the Death Knight and the Lich can perhaps do a little bit too much there. There's a little bit of Frost Armor, there's a Death Coil, as the Demon Hunter still unable to get off another mana burn again. Some quick, well, abolish magics by those Dryads, as a little bit more experience still gained, as we're looking at level 3, level 2 heroes. Now, Destroyer is up in the air. It looks like it's taking quite a bit of damage. Death Knight could be going for a Death Coil onto that Destroyer, as the Haunted Gold Mine has not been restarted. SaiDe taking this opportunity to back away and do some creeping as well. And really, WarCraft 3 and any real-time strategy game is time management. Everyone has, well, you're given this usually the same amount of time as your opponent to do anything, and it's what you can do in that amount of time. Perhaps build your army, make tactical decisions out on the battlefield, tech, collect gold, all of those things in order to gain an advantage over your opponent. So what you're really looking for is a time advantage over your opponent, as INSUP does get to level 3 on that Lich. Level 2 Frost Nova, a very big deal, as those Druids of the Claw in that frontline spot may not be able to get to their targets easily while moving slowly. Death Knight, now also at level 4, has a Scroll of the Beast and also a Book of the Dead. That's a very nasty, deadly 1-2 combination. If you place down the Book of the Dead and then also place down the Scroll of the Beast, you're popping up a very large army. He did it in the wrong order. The skeletal minions do not have the bonus of that roar, and that it was a little bit of a misstep there. We'll see if it costs him or if SaiDe's able to restabilize. A little bit of extra bonus damage from those skeletal minions, especially those skeletal archers with a roar 25% damage bonus, could have perhaps done some damage there, as we're looking at Druids of the Claw getting taken down now. All right, Crypt Queen's now looking to retreat back. Demon Hunter with Orb of Venom gonna burst down the Destroyer off to the north. The Destroyer down to dead, as the Dryad's able to get that last shot off there. One Druid of the Claw about to get taken down. No Moonwell juice enough to keep him alive, as now we see a skeletal archer or a little bit of bonus damage there could have been enough to finish off that Druid of the Claw. Small mistakes, a small misstep translating into actual unit battlefield is a big difference here, as the Death Knight has a Potion of Lesser Invulnerability, trying to push back against all of those units, and now perhaps going to be going after this Ancient of War. I personally still always like Rings of Regeneration on the Death Knight, the Paladin, that primary healing hero that can't heal itself, as well it is able to heal up quickly. Now, going after this Snapper now. Death Knight still staying at level 4. Lich actually gets to level 4 here and now has access to Dark Ritual. No, actually goes for level 2 Frost Armor over Dark Ritual. Potion of Lesser Invulnerability used there, as the Destroyer goes to the skies, down to dead, transforming only to waste extra gold and give more experience to the Demon Hunter. Both sides still fighting their way through. Death Knight, Death Knight still here, trying to figure out the real one, is causing a little bit of problems as the Druid of the Claw gets taken down once more. SaiDe giving a little bit of chase, but perhaps gave too much chase, feeding a bit of experience as well. We're looking at 33 supply compared to 52. INSUP is running up on 2 bases. No Expo off to the north, and well, INSUP has to be happy with how he's currently played this game. Death Knight may want to back away, give more experience to the Lich. Lich with a fast attack speed with those dual gloves of haste. Boots of Quell the Loss on the Death Knight for a little bit of additional bonus armor, as INSUP tries to get out of that little low upkeep position. You don't want to stay in 50 supply. You really want to get into the mid 60s and low 70s if you're running on 2 bases. Otherwise, your army size advantage is not being leveraged fully. Demon Hunter going to get some damage out here onto the Destroyer. Scroll of Town Portal now being used by the Naga Sea Witch. Dryad ends up staying alive as 3 Acolytes go back to work. 2 additional Acolytes still need to be trained, perhaps already on their way. All right, new Acolyte there. There's 4. The 4th Acolyte with a Necropolis now being placed down again. If SaiDe can continue to get these hit-and-run tactics, trade efficiently during these hit-and-run tactics, he will come out ahead. Druid of the Talon with, well, that piercing damage over magic damage. Now, one of the balance changes that I had suggested years and years ago, as well, Druids of the Talon with piercing damage, if it's only an air-to-air attack, only having access to magic damage instead meant that it was not effective against anything. If trying to go up against flying machines, the flying machines with their flak cannons would outrake these Druid of the Talons, and well, magic damage was not especially effective against the light armor and completely ineffective against these Destroyers. All right, Death Knight, Lich waiting to line things up here. Demon Hunter also shy of level 5. That is going to be a big deal, as level 3 mana burn opening up with that initial 150 mana burn is a big spout of damage. Gonna go ahead and try and clean up this Ancient of Wonders. Demon Hunter gonna run on in from the side here, perhaps get some mana burn onto the Death Knight. No, goes after the Lich first. Frost Nova now not available, as we're looking at Immolation. on the Demon Hunter. All right, SaiDe going for immolation here. A little bit curious as to why he's going for immolation. Yes, it does deal a little bit of damage, but I would assume that he needs to save his mana for more mana burns as this fight can go long. Demon Hunter hasn't toggled off, finally toggles it off there, down to 40 mana as the Destroyer now looking to retreat back as well. Destroyer takes a Death Coil back up to, well, north of 600 hit points as the Demon Hunter runs headlong into the fight, only to realize that he's caused a little bit too much separation from his own partner, trying to devour magic from that Destroyer. However, the Demon Hunter able to, well, walk away out of that distance and now heal back up again. Demon Hunter may try to get another mana burn. There's a Frost Nova instead. Demon Hunter in a little bit of trouble, trying to get away and dodges again. All right, INSUP now setting up a second expo, 57 supply compared to 47, as the main gold mines still have 6 minutes of mining left. Not quite sure what SaiDe is thinking. He does need to set up an expo here at some point in time. Staying in no upkeep cannot be the only way you try and, well, mine as much gold as your opponent. Demon Hunter does get up to level 5 here, putting pressure on that Haunted Gold Mine. Meanwhile, that means that Demon Hunter is not protecting his own base as the Night Elf army comes over to try and support. All right, Druids of the Talon well, quickly getting webbed down by those Crypt Fiends, but that does also mean that the Druids of the Claw are here ready to take down those units too. All right, Druids of the Talon. I almost feel like once... If you're a Druid of the Talon and you're webbed down and you have an air-to-air attack, almost like let that Druid of the Talon attack the ground, right? If it's on the ground, just that's where he currently is now. So let him attack. But I guess that would be pretty powerful overall as well. Anyways, INSUP does finish up this necropolis. Doesn't have the Haunted Gold Mine though, but can train up if necessary. All right, no easy mana burn onto that Obsidian statue. That would have been a nice 150 damage as well. Coming back through, Demon Hunter looking to take down the necropolis. Do remember though, fortified armor. Demon Hunter does, I believe, half damage against this necropolis here. Yeah, doing about 16 damage per swipe instead of the, I would assume, around 40 damage that it should be doing per attack there. So 25% damage reduction coupled with the actual armor type. Both sides fighting their way through. Death Knight now down to 249 hit points, trying to back away. I don't see only one Obsidian statue amongst all of this, as the Demon Hunt or the Bears do try and roar. Quick scroll of Town Portal for the Lich as a tactical retreat is necessary. Yes, Evelyn. Okay, you're just walking around like you need me. Oh, okay. Now, SaiDe down to about 3.5 minutes of mining left here. Plenty of gold for INSUP as he is, well, as he is riding on 2 bases. His expo still has a decent 10 minutes, 11 minutes of mining left here. INSUP gonna be losing this necropolis. Demon Hunter looking to knock this down, and no one's taken this top right side granite golem creep camp. Yes, I know experience is not really needed by anyone, but even the item itself is worth a lot at this stage in the game. What are these units going to try and run off to do? Well, SaiDe getting up to 50 over 60 supply and now just banking that gold. And, well, perhaps going to try to fill up these Moonwells. That does have that Moonwell Blessing, increasing the mana capacity and also that refill rate. Off to the north, Naga Sea Witch looking to get every bit of experience that it can. Druids of the Talon just going to be dropped down onto the ground here. Naga Sea Witch Clarity Potion has come to an end as the Demon Hunter tries to make its way down. All right, there's a Shade out and about. Where is that undead army? Just hanging out on some Blight. Currently at 2-2 upgrades, while on a Blight, going up against 0-1, soon to be 0-2 upgrades for SaiDe. All right, top right-hand side of the map, Dryad gonna try to get some damage here, start this creep. We see an ensnare go down onto the Druid of the Talon. Naga Sea Witch gonna take a boulder as we see some bashes down by that Granite Golem. That AoE, a bash, slows the attack, and we see some of the Sea Giant Hunters spin that AoE damage. So all these melee units in the front are suffering quite a bit of damage here. All right, Demon Hunter still trying to hold the middle position as the Shade trying to keep track of what is going down. And Naga Sea Witch gets a Warsong Battle Drums, a nice 7% damage bonus. But all of these Druids of the Claw perhaps need to go into Druid form, get some rejuvenation before trying to start that next fight. iNSUP is already at 79/80 supply. He has a massive army size advantage now, and should be able to push SaiDe into a bit of a corner. We'll see what happens here as the Naga Sea Witch is gonna be 18 experience shy of level 5. Level 3 Fork Lightning could have perhaps well, poked down some of these Crypt Fiends quickly, as iNSUP is starting to bank some of his gold now that he's at maximum supply. SaiDe is still banking gold though, currently at 1700 and climbing. There is some repairs going on. And what is SaiDe's long-term plan? I don't see, well no, I do see dual Staff of Preservations on SaiDe, but I don't see them being, I haven't been seeing them used that efficiently. Also, Druid of the Claw not getting a rejuvenation there. That had to have been a misstep by SaiDe. They're going to go ahead and drink some Moonwell juice instead in order to get back up to full, well, 3 hours before daybreak. So we'll see how dry these Moonwells are at the start of the next fight. All right. This is that weird situation in the game when both sides don't want to make a mistake. They're just hoping that they can force a mistake out of their opponent. There's a, well, Mana Burn there on the Death Knight. Death Coil, Frost Nova, Demon Hunter quickly drinking up some Moonwell juice and now trying to get some Mana Burns back the other way. Lich does not have level 5 yet. That is a big deal as both sides are going to be fighting their way through. Naga Sea Witch is a little bit shy here. There's a Staff of Preservation on a Druid of the Claw, but the fighting close to home is sometimes a disadvantage, as Staff of Preservation, well, did not really save that Druid of the Claw there. Death Knight now looking to back up again, and the Destroyers with mana doing massive amounts of damage could easily finish off many of these Druids of the Talon or Druids of the Claw, as the Naga Sea Witch finally gets up to level 5. Lich has been level 5 as well, as the Demon Hunter now tries to back away. These Destroyers could easily just take down these Druids of the Talon, as there is a little bit of AoE splash damage as well. Destroyers continuing to chip away. Druid of the Claw able to stay alive at 21 hit points, as Crypt Fiends are now suffering a little bit of damage too. Demon Hunter trying to close in on that gap. Are we going to see some more damage here as well? Naga Sea Witch doesn't have boots of speed on that Demon Hunter, as the army is trying to regather again. All right, here's the engagement. There's a Mana Burn, Death Coil onto the Demon Hunter. Demon Hunter trying a big giant target on his back, gets Staff of Preservation to back home. Meanwhile, a Druid of the Talon gets webbed down. 66 supply compared to 52. iNSUP still with a decent size army advantage, and also trying to get a gold advantage again by establishing up another gold mine. Currently does have a gold advantage, as the Tree of Eternity perhaps making its way down south, but instead finds the army of the Destroyers, and SaiDe loses his own Tree of Eternity. That's going to be a major setback here, as we see I believe that was a deny, or an attempted deny by the Death Knight to deny experience. All right, any ancients lost, any Ancient of Wind or Ancient of Lore lost, it will take some time to rebuild because there is no Tree of Ages. I am a bit surprised that we don't see anything about a revealing on a SaiDe. Does he have a Tree of Life somewhere? I don't believe so. 52 supply compared to 63. SaiDe's army just not that large. iNSUP continuing to mine gold off of 2 gold mines. 5 minutes left on that expo as the Destroyers look to try and clear up this game. Demon Hunter now going after all of these units. Potion of Lesser Invulnerability, home field advantage. Is it going to be enough? Death Knight is currently was surrounded by Dryads, but but well, currently surrounded by Dryads, but a Goblin Zeppelin going to be enough to try and keep these units alive again. Lich, however, has fallen at level 5 in an attempt to try and save the Demon Hunter, as now the Demon Hunter teleports back here and may actually go for, well, take down all of these Acolytes and perhaps win the game with the Demon Hunter and Metamorphosis. Lich is back out here on the battlefield. Obsidian Statue needs to provide some hit points and mana, as the Demon Hunter has full mana and is ready to mana burn even more. In sup is the Demon Hunter going to live up to the Superman status and be able to carry the game on his back, as the Goblin Zeppelin still trying to get back home, as the Dryads with fast movement speed can easily poke apart that Goblin Zeppelin as it's in the skies. All right, no slow poison, however, for that mechanical unit as it gets back here. All right. 55 supply compared to 47. Army sizes are, well, somewhat closer. Naga Sea Witch sitting at level 5. If the Naga Sea Witch gets to level 6, that would be an interesting call as well, as suddenly we have access to Tornado for damage. SaiDe is making this game much closer than I thought it would be. Are we going to go into an engagement? Yes, again, Metamorphosis now ready. And are we just going to be going for some splash chaos damage here onto the Tomb of Relics, going after any building or anything of importance, as we're looking at a quick roar right there. All right, Demon Hunter plus 15 damage. Fork Lightning almost finishing off a couple of those ghouls. We're looking at some damage here, and now going to try and take them down. Staff of Preservation used in the time by the Demon Hunter. Still another charge of Staff of Preservation available, as it is used there again. 2 Druids of the Claw, nearly 2,000 hit points. All of that damage completely mitigated with a quick click, but now those Druids of the Claw are going to have some difficult days, as one does end up falling. Fork Lightning going back down again, as the Druids of the Claw are trying to retreat. Demon Hunter's Metamorphosis is going to be coming to an end here, and it's going to be going back down to his, well, still scary self, as he's trying to retreat and head back home. 34 supply compared to 45, as a Staff of Teleportation now being used, trying to give chase the other way here. We see some Druids of the Claw down to 300 hit points. Staff of Preservation, there's one Staff of Preservation saving the lower hit point, as this Demon Hunter may not be able to get to that Druid of the Claw in time. Tree of Life now being placed down at this 3 o'clock gold mine, and I don't know if it will get entangled. Goblin Zeppelin should easily get finished off here. It finally gets taken down, as the Naga Sea Witch is 10 experience shy from level 6. We see a couple Druids of the Claw back at home, ready to join back in on the battlefield. Triple Dryads, 31 supply compared to 48, as this gold mine has 2 minutes of mining left. Death Knight and Death Knight Lich both sitting at level 5. Even the Death Knight getting to level 6 is not going to be as important as the Demon Hunter getting to level 6, unless we see actual strong use of Animate Dead. But remember, Animate Dead means that you animate the Druids of the Claw in Druid form without any spells, so they themselves are not that powerful. Entangling of the gold mine now underway. SaiDe going to try and defend this, bringing some wisps over, and SaiDe may have enough gas in the tank to at least hold off and then re-get his footing. That is the question. The Demon Hunter Metamorphosis still needs another 40 seconds or so before it is available. Meanwhile, Lich wants to come over, has a Frost Nova with a lot of wisps names on it, but they're already inside. Demon Hunter, quick mana burn right there. Fork Lightning. Demon Hunter already in a bit of trouble, being forced to use Staff of Preservation, but there he goes back to that Tree of Life. Death Coil finds the target, and that's the problem. Fighting close to home, Staff of Preservation does not necessarily preserve anything, and with that Demon Hunter now gone, it feels like the game is over. Naga Sea Witch gets to level 6, but maybe too little, too late, so to speak, as the Naga Sea Witch should really be trying to engage, pick off some of these units, and not let the army fall. This is going to be the end. SaiDe losing to iNSUP with his very large economic advantage. All right, final scores here. That resource score, the main difference, SaiDe did more with less, but at the same time, well, unable to recover that gold discrepancy. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.